Hi Pisces, welcome to your July 2016 General Tarotscope. It's Raina here. I am shuffling the cards. I can't stop thinking of the person who wrote me and thought I said it's Raina. It's raining here. That's what I always say. That was so hilarious, but so now it's like I sometimes avoid even saying that. Because it's not raining here. It's actually very muggy. Rain sounds like a nice idea. So I'm just going to talk very briefly as I lay out the cards about some of the transits that are occurring in the month of July for you. The Sun and Venus and Mercury are all clustered together in your 5th house of romance as the month begins. So that's actually very nice. You know, Cancer is your sister water sign. And you share certain things in common with Cancer. And in your 5th house of romance, you know, there's going to be a new moon there on the 4th of July. So there can be some situation where you meet somebody, you know, Mercury in that house, you're talking to somebody perhaps that becomes a lover. Or I don't like the word lover. I've taken a lover. But you know what I mean. Somebody, you know, that you form a romantic relationship with. And so that is really kind of influencing you for the first 10 days or so. Because then Venus on the 12th goes into your 6th house of work and daily routines and health. And Mercury goes there a day later. And Mercury rules that house, so it's really good for that. Especially if you are thinking of, you know, starting some sort of diet. Mercury can deal with health. And in this house, it's in its own house, so it kind of concentrates that energy for that specific topic. And makes you much more precise. It's like going from the energy of Leo, which is the ruler of the 5th house, to Virgo, the ruler of the 6th house. So you have this very like romantic and passionate energy, and then at the end of the month you're more like very persnickety and businesslike, like a Virgo person. And the Sun will enter this sector, the 6th house, on the 22nd when it goes into the sign of Leo as well. So then you'll have that concentration there. What else is happening? So we have as I say, we have a new moon in the 5th house on the 4th. And then we have a full moon in Capricorn on the 19th. And Capricorn is the sign, 2 signs behind you. So this is your 11th house. And this is the house of hopes and wishes. So there might be some kind of culmination, maybe something that you have really been wanting will come true around the 19th of the month, and that would be a wonderful thing. Sometimes it can be endings, you know. It's also the house of friendships and groups. So you might be ending an association with a group, or a friendship may come to an end. But I feel like there's so much positive energy in regards to your romance, especially, and creativity, by the way, with the 5th house, and then your dreams coming true. And we also have Mars, which was in Sagittarius and retrograded until the end of June. It was actually the 29th of June that it went direct. Now in Scorpio, gaining ground, and Scorpio is your 9th house. And so in the 9th house, you know, there's another fellow water sign. And the 9th house is the house of higher learning. It's the house of religion. It's the house of travel. So maybe some of you had put a travel some travel plans on hold, and now it's all systems go. And maybe you will be traveling. And of course, those of us in the Northern Hemisphere are having summer, so that isn't, such a bizarre idea. So I think that there's a lot going on for you astrologically, and let's pull some cards. And I do have few that fall. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, this reading also, there's a little bit of indication of traveling too. So the overall energy is the Nine of Pentacles. And this can indicate somebody that is very prosperous. But because there's a number 9, this person is possibly alone, enjoying the fruits of his or her labors. And you see that there's grapes, there's the pentacles relate to, it looks like gold coins, but it's also related to any sort of material resources, or possibly, land and career matters, or bling. She's blinged out. And so it can mean that in a relationship that someone is going it alone, but they're not wanting for anything in their aloneness. I noticed that it's a woman depicted, and so we traditionally think of women as the ones who are dependent financially, and so this makes it significant that the person is not. It shows the ability of the person to take care of him or herself. There may have been a situation, with your work that you decided to part ways. But if you did, I feel that you did not do so with any kind of anxiety, that you just felt like you were self-sufficient, that you didn't need whatever they were offering because you can do it yourself. Maybe you started your own business. That's always a possibility. It could be that in relationships, you're dealing with somebody who is an earth sign. So that would be a Taurus, why am I drawing a blank? Virgo or Capricorn? I just blanked out there for a second. And let me look at the past, the recent past, I should say. This is the Sun card. Now, this is a very, very positive energy. And as I say, the Sun is going to be in Cancer for most of the month. So this could just indicate that this is when you fall in love, during the sign of Cancer, with that energy concentrated in the 5th house. But let's just say it has to do with a Leo. Leo is ruled by the Sun. In that case, it would be that you were with a Leo and now you're with an earth sign. But the Sun can mean just about anything. It can mean, it's a yes card. So it can mean anything to the affirmative of you, achieving success in whatever it is that you've been wanting to achieve success. So business-wise, maybe that's why you're alone now, because you became successful and you didn't need to be at that company anymore. The higher perspective is the Page of Pentacles. In a matter of, if you're in between, if you've had 2 relationships recently, and currently it's with an earth sign and it was with a Leo or somebody with a strong Leo presence in their chart, the message from the universe is saying that the earth sign person is probably right for you overall. And this is just true of Pisces in general, that earth and water do very well together. And the earth person can help to ground you and make you more practical, or at least to help you when, because you're providing creativity in the relationship and things like that. And you provide the spiritual dimension, and they might provide the one foot on the ground approach or in the world. And so you can make a really good team that way. The other thing too is that the Page of Pentacles can indicate that you receive a message that has to do with work. And as I say, Mercury will be entering your 6th house of work on the 13th of July. So that might be after that point, while it's in that 6th house, that you hear word about something. If you were like trying to change from one department to another or something like that, it would be within the workplace itself, but it might have something to do with a job that has nothing to do, and especially if it's a job that you take care of the people yourself. So if you have branched out on your own, as this may suggest, then you will start to hear from people that become your clients, or there's like that negotiation or that communication involving work. So what is crossing you is the Hangman. This would be particularly true if you're, I think, in terms of a romantic relationship, if you're trying to decide between two different people. This is like a card that's saying, because I'm reading it like it's reversed, even though it's upright. I'm reading it as a challenge position. So it would mean that you would need to make a decision, that not making a decision is holding up your life in some way. And you may feel, because the person who is the Leo, or who represents that, may be a very positive person, but you may not really love them. It may just be that they are a nice person, or that you're attracted to them physically, but the person who might hold your heart is the Earth sign individual, as kind of seconded by the message from the universe. So the longer you put off making a decision like this, the more you invite turmoil into your life. Especially if you are still connected to that other person and you haven't really let go of the relationship, that can, create more drama and more problems than it solves any. So that's definitely, and if it's something like, if you're in a situation where you want to be independent financially, you want to have your own business and you still haven't quit, this card may be saying that, the time is ripe for you to start your own business. And what are you afraid of? Obviously, as a general reading, I'm going to trust it to you to know what is an appropriate decision for you. And even in a private reading, I always feel like it's important that people use their own common sense, because every angle of the issue, and other people outside of you may only know one part of it. So definitely, I'm not encouraging people to do something foolhardy, but by the same token, if it's something that, especially if you're not in a good position right now and it's affecting you, then at least consider it. And sometimes it just is a matter of researching, alternatives. But anything is better than not doing anything about it, just like accepting whatever comes down the pike as part of the story of your life, for lack of a better way of putting it. Because in the reverse position, the Hangman card can talk about useless sacrifice. And so sometimes people throw out a good situation because they don't like everything about it. And really, if they had done their part, they could have made the situation a lot better. And I believe that actually the Hangman is connected with Neptune, which is your ruler. So in the reverse position, it can be somebody who is playing the martyr. And so whether it's in, a career or in your private life, that kind of thing, which is a shadow aspect of Pisces, is something that, some Pisces people may have adopted as a defense mechanism to try to cope with certain things in their past, but it doesn't work anymore, and it's actually hurtful to whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. And for some people, it's a matter of not being too laid back. In the upright position, which this is the upright position, but I'm reading this as an obstacle card. But the upright position talks of letting go and letting God. It could mean too that perhaps you are not letting the situation go. Maybe you are trying to force something. Maybe you are, trying to do something prematurely. Now, that is not typical of Pisces, but remember that there are other influences besides the sun sign. So some Pisces may have a lot of Aries in them, and they may be a lot more aggressive than the average Pisces person. So that could be an obstacle too if you're not doing what the upright card suggests, which is letting go and letting God, and allowing the situation to, kind of settle down. Maybe you're on the other end of a love triangle. Maybe somebody is deciding between you and another person, and you're trying to force their hand. And this is a card of inaction, of being passive. What is in your favor is the Eight of Wands. So it might even be like an event that occurs that's, beyond your control, but is actually a very positive thing, like getting a job offer, getting news about travel. And this may also combine with work. Maybe you were, trying to make something happen and it didn't do. Maybe you're trying to make something happen that just wasn't, happening, and then all of a sudden all the pieces fall right into place. The only thing that this card kind of like represents, though, is kind of being quick on your feet and grabbing the opportunity when it presents itself. So be ready for something to come in very quickly. And, they say he who snoozes loses. So if something, you get this call at the last minute, will you travel to China to take this job? Then you have to say, wow, yeah, I will do that. So that's always a possibility as well. And in terms of the romantic situation, if you see, we have the sun, another fire sign, and that card. So maybe you decide to stay with the person who is the Leo. Maybe that's your decision, or maybe there's someone else. It might not even be of that sign, but it's some sudden, person that you meet, and it's just like instantaneous. The sense of passion, the sense of falling in love. And I talked about that energy in the fifth house, that kind of goes along with that. The advice is the Knight of Swords. So this is about head over heart, but also truth, not mincing your words, not dancing around issues. If you have either some kind of situation that requires clarification on the job front, you're going to have to be direct. Pisces sometimes is indirect. I see a lot of similarities sometimes with Pisces and Libra in that sense, of not wanting to kind of ruffle feathers and being a little bit passive aggressive. And the Knight of Swords is really about a crusader, somebody who is seeking the truth in all situations and is fearless in doing so. And because the swords relate to communication, it really is like this, ability to state things in a direct way, but also in a confident way, not in a mealy-mouthed kind of a way. The outcome is the Two of Wands. So there is still that sense of ambiguity, or I'm looking for that other word that means indecision. You still may be trying to decide whether you want to go. It's like, should I stay here or should I go? Like that song by The Clash, should I stay or should I go? And you may be torn, especially if you get a job offer, which this card can indicate, and that involves travel. You may have somebody, the top row, suggests that. And you may be saying, but I'll lose this person. And if you notice, this individual has a world in his hands. So it is a very expansive energy. Fire signs are expansive energy. And you have a couple of them in this reading. And it's really about not playing small, I think. And even if there is someone that you care about, if you do have to leave, that person will still be there if that person's meant to be. I think so anyway. I don't think that we should ever turn down opportunities so that we can stay with a certain person unless there is some mitigating factor that really speaks strongly to us. And, it might have more to do than just preserving that relationship. It might be that you have an intuitive hit that you're going to have, a great career upswing wherever you are at the moment. But if you really want to take advantage of the opportunities of a career and what's the only thing that's holding you back is a relationship, I also feel we have our own mission and our own path to walk. Sometimes, our partner can be our companion, and sometimes the other person thwarts us. And only you can know which one that is. If the person is helping you to expand or keeping you from expansion. And the decision will be different for everyone. Again, this is a general reading, so that dilemma might not even come up for many of you. Some of these cards hopefully resonated, but if you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, Pisces, have a very eventful and life-affirming month of July. Bye.